Abu Azzoum. He's joining us live from Deir Al Balah in central Gaza. And Tareq, deadly Israeli attacks across the Strip, killing both indiscriminately and also some targeted killings in the Shati refugee camp.
Yeah, that's right, Elizabeth. The Israeli occupation forces are stepping up the military land and aerial bombardment in the north of the Strip, in the central area, and even further south in the southern part of the Strip. But starting from the north of the Strip, which has been the theatre for the latest Israeli strikes, we are talking about an evacuation centre has been targeted. It's called Mustafa Hafez school that has been a place where Palestinian displaced families have been heading to in order to seek some sort of refuge in the western side of Gaza City. We clearly remember that the army has been attacking evacuation centres and schools in the northern part of the Strip, killing dozens of Palestinians. But the latest attack has killed 3 Palestinians, with patches of casualties being reported and transferred to the Baptist hospital to get medical treatment. But that is the grim reality, that this school has been the last resort for Palestinians in order to seek to and to head to in order to afford themselves some sense of safety. But the Israeli army has targeted this school without any sort of prior warning. Till now, the army did not comment on the incident and the attack that has been carried out. But also, eyewitnesses there have confirmed that more airstrikes have conducted in a Zaytun neighborhood, destroying a number of houses there. And basically, the loud bombardment by the Israeli artillery units could be clearly overheard from Deir Al Balah town, where the army is operating in the eastern areas of Deir Al Balah. But the army as well has been upscaling the military strikes in the southern part of the city of Khan Younis, where right now they have been operating for at least a week, killing dozens of Palestinians. One of the latest attacks has killed 6 Palestinians after their residential house was completely targeted. And Gaza's health ministry has said that at least more than 14 Palestinians have been killed since dawn today, as the bombardment continue to be overheard with no source of respite. But by the way, Elizabeth, the Palestinians here are expecting a clear surge of airstrikes because the army is still expanding its ground invasion for the central area, hitting multiple refugee camps, especially Al-Nusayrat and Al-Baraj refugee camp, in overnight strikes, killing a Palestinian mother with its 5 children.
Yeah, it must be terrible, Tareq, to be there and just expecting more strikes, even as these ceasefire negotiations are supposed to be taking place. Meanwhile, Tareq, we're seeing reports that more Palestinians have been released from Israeli detention centres. What are you hearing about their condition?
Well, in fact, around 33 Palestinians have been released today from Israeli detention camps and centres in Israeli territories, and they have been transferred to the European and Nasser Hospital in the city of Khan Younis. Now, clearly the traces of torture are quite clear on the bodies due to the very hard period they have spent in the Israeli jails. We have listened to what they have been saying in terms of the torture, believing that they have been going through all signs of physical and psychological torture and on the hands of the Israeli officers, especially, and detectives. They have been brutally beaten by metal bars. They have been handcuffed, blindfolded, and deprived from having access to the toilets and even getting a sufficient amount of food and water on a daily basis. And one of them has said that even when they have informed us that you will today be released, they have been beaten on their way to the buses that will transfer them to the Gaza Strip. So they are leaving a very dangerous psychological scars in the minds of those Palestinian prisoners who were released today, saying that other Palestinian prisoners who are still stuck behind the Israeli bars are going through the worst humanitarian conditions ever, without any sort of mitigation in terms of the miserable humanitarian behavior being practiced on them by the prisons authority in Israeli territories. And they believe that as long as the Israeli army is still operating in Gaza, more Palestinians will be arrested. And they said that they were lucky today to be released because they have been dying in Israeli jails.
Yeah, I mean, we have to remember that them being released means that Israel doesn't see them as a threat in any way, which begs many questions around why they were tortured in this way, which are, of course, war crimes. Tareq, thank you very much for your reporting. As always, that is Tareq Abu Azzoum joining us live from Deir Al Balah in central Gaza.